Evening, everyone. Today is August 7th, 2025. It is 5:35 p.m. This is a meeting of the Golf Facilities Exploratory Committee. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, gentlemen, tonight we're here to go through a run-through of the PowerPoint presentation that we're going to make to the town concerning the clubhouse and cart barn and anything else that we're going to decide upon for the expansion of the golf course. So I thank Rich for doing this for us, and Rich, you got the floor.
Okay, so this is just my thought process. We start off with what they gave to us in the beginning. The first document we were handed was basically our mission statement, just to emphasize what our job was as part of this whole initiative for the last, call it 6-7 months. And then, and this is a draft, guys, so please give me feedback. I was just kind of put something together. I think we talked about an exploratory study and how our team was built, you know, and who we kind of are, like a very high level. Talk about when we first started to meet, that we signed a contract with the architect, and we've been working with Kurt, that this was an iterative process. We had meeting after meeting, and we were looking at different designs from Kurt along the way. Does that make sense? And then we were paring it down, and I think as part of this presentation, you know, I'll lead the way, but chime in during the presentation if there's something that, you know, you feel strongly about. Like, you know, I know that Wayne likes to talk about square footage and things like that, so, you know, talk about it, because we're not going to have technical drawings by the time we have this meeting with whether it's the committee or the select board. So this is kind of like a beginning slide, and then kind of, you know, what do we have? What is this current situation? Without telling them stuff they already know, just in case this does go to, you know, this is going to be on YouTube, right? People are going to, I think as part of it, we say, hey, you know, some people might not even know that the double wide trailer is in disrepair. So I think it's important that we have a brief slide to talk. And I'm going to brand the slides like town of Acushnet established, blah, blah, whatever, it's 1800, whatever it was. And I'll make them look a little less sterile. But, you know, like the golf course and the trailer was built in 1998. It's obviously in disrepair. One of the things I want to talk about is the NGF study, how the NGF, are you guys familiar with the NGF? The NGF is called the National Golf Foundation, and one of the first documents they gave us when we got together was the report that the NGF did on the Acushnet River Valley. And for lack of a better term, gave pretty glowing reviews. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
how I want to spin this is that the golf clubhouse isn't aligned with the quality of the golf course, right? The NGF, a powerful organization, world-renowned, and a very well respected industry in the industry, said the golf course is amazing. And then we go inside and we see this dilapidated clubhouse. So I think it's, like I said, time to move forward. I put a couple of slides together to show kind of how it's used and to emphasize that for a great golf course, that's JV. And I'll say it better than that, but you guys get my drift, right? And I didn't try to overdo the bad nature of it. They get it. This is why we're here, right? Everyone knows it, but I think it's important to just package it.
Because not just the committee of the selectmen, like there'll be other people that might watch this that, I like that you emphasize, like, you know, not everybody knows the current situation. So
then we can get into where what we started to do. Like, this is a sketch, right? And you can see that this is a hand drawing of what the location of the clubhouse would be, what the location of the cart barn, any relocation of traffic patterns, right? We talked about that, and this was the first iteration, and then we stepped into hey, you know, Kurt, we'd love to have this on the practice greens, right? And the practice greens located along the end of the 18th green and fairway, right? So again, I'm trying to show the, like, where we started kind of thing, and kind of, okay, now we have more of a schematic rather than a hand sketch drawing. And notice the location of the cart barn in this particular iteration. And then we go to another iteration where, and some of these slides are almost duplicate, and I just put them in, I can delete them relatively quickly. But this next slide shows that we move the cart barn, move the clubhouse to where the practice green is, kind of like, and then like talk about driving patterns with this. I'm trying to emphasize that we went through a lot of iterations on this. That way we just didn't meet 3 or 4 times and didn't get anything done.
Right.
And then we're getting a little more like when John was here talking about the size that the kitchen needed to be. He had his expertise there, right? Where we talked about kitchen needs to be so many square feet. These are the things you need to have in the kitchen. We talked about the pro shop. We talked about the location of the pro shop, and then the viewing. That's what those cones are up top for. The breadth of the dining room, and then relative to the outdoor patio or pavilion. And then we started getting even more technical, where we started to really dive into square footage, moving things around, tweaking the alignment, the direction where it pointed. Remember all that we went through? Then we're into renderings now. What would this look like when it's done? So that's the cart barn, right? Or is that, yeah, that's the,
Yeah.
that's the, yeah, that's the cart barn, yeah, right.
Yeah. That's it.
Because he still had proposed clubhouse there, that's not written correctly. So this is a slide that I don't know if you guys followed Dave's thread on email, but we're supposed to have better estimates on what this will cost, and
On
I think it
Monday.
was on Monday
On
of next
Monday,
week.
from the
So I
estimate.
could put those estimates in here, but we went through like, remember it was like A through E?
Mhm.
And is this an estimate on E? Is that what we thought?
Yes,
That's what I thought.
yes, it was the estimate on the smallest. We reduced it down to about 3,600 square feet, which is, somewhere in that vicinity, where we've been going off the final plan that we've been showing.
So
Pretty much.
I think I'm gonna put a slide in here that says we had 5 iterations. After we designed it, we had 5 iterations based on cost per square foot. Does that make sense? And I'll put high-level numbers, like this was the low end, this was the high end, this was letter A. And then we go all the way to E, and then the low end, the high end. Basically, it's a, hi, thank
Cindy
you.
asked me to draw.
Thank you so much.
You hit that, that's E.
Can we put those A through, are you saying that you're gonna put those A through E numbers in?
So I wanted to run it by you guys. I talked to him today, and he said we might not have to, because we're gonna have a final number. But I'm thinking we should, now that we're talking, now that I'm talking out loud about it, that we show that we had A through E, we landed on E, we did what the best was, and and the next slide will be, hey, and this is what the estimates are from a potential building. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea of having all those options. You can maybe put those first, because that's what the numbers we were presented with first. And then after that, be like, these are like the more concrete numbers on the lowest of the, like the E estimate or whatever. That way, in the event that maybe they do feel like, okay, maybe we can spend a little bit more money, let's go to option D or whatever. And you know what I mean?
I like it.
I think
I
it's a
have
square
a
foot
slide
price
prepared
he's
for that.
using here.
I just didn't put it in here because Dave and I kind of finished up today.
Because we kind of did start to really crunch it down as small as possible to get to the budget that we were looking
I get this
for.
at
you know?
$6.
We definitely did.
And I still came out.
Which like that might
I still came out.
in
with that.
turn affect.
2.5.
You might want more from the clubhouse, but yeah, it's gonna cost a little more, but at least they know that they have
Came
those
out
options.
2.5.
Right.
Six.
Okay, Wayne and I were just discussing scheme E, just having the clubhouse price. What we
So,
did some rough figures in that.
so that
sort of
was,
thing.
that was what so this will be, I guess, maybe the last slide, which would say our recommendation is that it's a phased approach, that we build the clubhouse first, we build, and the preferred location, I think we're gonna talk about that a little bit more, there'll probably be some dialogue between us, the golf committee, and that the preferred location, to a man on both of these committees,
Yeah, yeah.
is that we put it on where the 18th green is, the practice green.
Practice,
And
right?
a practice green, overlooking the 18th hole.
That's right. And I think, and not to interrupt, but
Yep, please.
I think that's the general consensus of the golf committee also. So it'd be nice to have a flow that we all agree, it's a nice area to put it up
And
there.
that's why I put the word preferred.
Yeah,
Like,
all right.
This comes down to when we have to break ground, before we break ground, that we just don't have the budget for it, then we'll put it where one of the options where it currently is, basically.
Mhm.
But this is our a selling opportunity to the people who can make those decisions.
Yeah,
So then, as a phased approach is clubhouse, cart storage, short game area, which isn't in our scope, but in one of the images, I think I put it in here. Right here,
yeah,
that's a short game design, and I think that he was partnering with Tim Garish as part of that, so building guy and golf course design guy, working together to show what the future could be here. And we can, when we get to that slide, we can talk about that a little bit. Like, we didn't design a short game space. The cart storage building is straightforward, right?
yeah.
Nothing, it's a big shell, right? Nothing remarkable there. Hi. I don't know. Do you guys have any other thoughts other than adding the 5 cost breakdowns, which is basically 1 page? I can definitely pare that down to 1 page so we don't have to go through so many slides, because there's a lot of data on there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of
Yeah,
breakdowns, and
right.
I prefer, I mean, I can leave it there.
Yeah, I think just the high end, low end on A, B, C,
Yeah.
D, and E or whatever probably gets the job done, and then you can just describe what that entails.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't have to, because that was a whole big breakdown. Like, we
Yeah,
don't need,
there was a detailed breakdown, for sure.
Yeah.
do we know the numbers that, they're gonna present on Monday? Is that based on where the clubhouse is estimated? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I thought that he was gonna give us an estimate as to how much it would cost to be where the putting green currently is now versus where the first clubhouse is.
Well,
I thought
that's my understanding, is that we will get, you know,
So
an estimate.
to that thought too, taking off of that, we had talked about, okay, now that it's on the putting green, we can still function out of the trailer for the time
That's
being.
a good point.
And what
that-
would
that
the
is-
cost,
I'm gonna put that in here.
the
that is-
cost of what the, you know, the temporary setup would be compared to moving it, like changing the green location, you know, something like that. you
Right,
know,
right.
Which we talked about a few times.
You know.
What the trailer was
Well, the putting green was in the vicinity of 100,000, and the portable john, I think we got an estimate from cesspool, was something like,
2,500 a week.
yeah, yes.
That's how much I rented for,
Right.
2,500.
So on a monthly, you figure how many months is it gonna take to construct it, so you put that cost with it. And then, if you remember correctly, they said the construction process was going to entail eliminating the deck off of the current trailer, which is the bathroom access, and you may actually have to use a portable pro shop
Yeah.
when this construction really starts taking place. So that all should be incorporated in this estimate of comparing the location. So if you can operate as is and have the construction take place up on the putting green, it may behoove us to explore that option, because it may be cheaper
You
in the
know,
end.
take out, that full cost of
Mhm.
the move, you know, might be right there, so.
Absolutely.
The one thing that everybody was saying was like, oh, it's gonna cost a lot to move that
Right.
green, but if,
If you go to pinch pennies and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
costs you an extra 150,000 more than it was to move the putting green, that doesn't make any sense at all. So
yeah, exactly.
I sent you guys
Let me
an
ask
email
you this,
today
Dan.
showing what it takes to build a putting green. Found a USGA document that I had worked off of like 10 years ago. Pretty interesting, it's a long read, but if you just kind of parse through it, you can see that it's a pretty elaborate process.
Wayne, go ahead.
Question, would you have to put a putting green in just for your daily use? You know what I mean? So people can go putt before they play. If you're gonna eliminate the putting green, you have to put the new one in before the construction starts.
I don't believe so. I mean, what's your opinion, Rich?
I think you gotta, break some eggs to make the omelet, so,
Right.
I mean, for the short term, I don't think you need a putting green, but, I mean, that doesn't change it just changes the
Yeah.
flow of the project, not the cost, right? You're still gonna, you have to have a practice
I
green.
meant for you.
Right, no, in the end, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody has to understand, there are gonna be some temporary
there's-
inconsistencies with the current product versus as we go to that next level, you're gonna phase into
It's a
it.
fair question, but I don't think we have to. I think, it's more of a, hey, we're in the middle of construction, of course it's
And
over.
maybe Steve can do some sort of minor thing on the grass tee that he has, shave it a little bit closer, because that's L9, same as the greens. He could kind of, you know,
Maybe.
Right, take out 4 stalls and put practice there.
do a temporary, it won't be like an actual full-fledged putting green, but he can reduce it
Something
enough.
temporary for
Yeah,
people to-
temporary, just to get some flow
Right.
into the game.
And also too, when do we think we're gonna build this? Can we build it in October to March and more of the off-season? Instead of starting construction in April and trying to go through the season? You know, so that could be a determining factor too. If, you know, you can keep the clubhouse open, you can start the cutting trees and do the preliminary infrastructure work.
Rich, if you would pull up, if you could pull up your schematic of, say, when the, where it was with the practice facility. If you look, obviously the practice facility is not gonna exist. The putting green is gone, and we're starting construction on the hill. Where the trailer is on that red box, there's enough space on that side, that's all gonna get dug up anyways. We could have a temporary cot path that runs down the left side of all that area. As we start this construction project, we have, whoever's doing the prep work can, you know, clear a path down to the T on the left side of the current trailer, or wherever we're gonna operate out of. So I mean, we can probably do some temporary,
Yeah, roadway, cut
bypass.
path through there.
and then once it's done, you just clean it up and move forward with the project.
Well, it is gonna be under construction, so there is gonna be activity going on up there and that sort of thing. But if we're able to just keep the clubhouse open, you know,
That would be
making
fantastic.
tickets and,
That would minimize
you know,
minimize the impact to the customer.
that's right. It's like you said, you can go around behind where the 6th green is.
Yes.
And then over to the first tee.
Yep.
Go that direction.
I mean,
And work it that
Rich,
way.
you've seen these things done at professional country clubs with the PGA tours. I mean, they tear up these tracks
Yeah.
with the customer flow and walking and temporary cot paths. And then when it's all said and done, you know, you punch it, you seed it, you water it, boom, you got grass again. So I think it's.
I mean, when I went to Bethpage before they had the first US Open there in 2004, they destroyed that place to
Yes.
make it what it is today, but now it's just a giant revenue-making machine for the state. And, you know, there'll be 3 US Opens there, I think the Ryder Cup's there.
Ryder Cup's there
right?
this
I mean,
year.
the state, they invested $12 million back in 2002, 2003, had a US Open there, and it's never stopped since, so. Big events, I mean, this is, one of the things, Dana, I said to the team is, earlier on when we talked about, I'll go to that slide, that, you know, we had the study by the NGF, and they gave us glowing reviews, the golf course, right? Now, the clubhouse doesn't reflect that brand, the Acushnet River Valley Golf Course brand. So we think that the right thing to do is to move forward. Time to move forward is what I kind of, we can go through this one quick time. The way we're going to start is our mission statement, and then step through the process at a very high level. Just what did we do? What's the team about? When did we start meeting? Who did we work with? What was our iterative process? And what did we do? We did some research, we went to some other golf courses, we tried to figure out what worked for other places and what should work for us. And then,
Rich, just to add on, I like how we kind of determined the budget from the NGF, from the numbers that they gave us when we first came up with the 3.5 million, in that ballpark number. So I think that's, you know, if there's any idea of what, we just pulled a number out of the out of the air, and man, these guys want to build that, you know. They're soundly based on what was determined by the NGF.
we should have that at our fingertips during this discussion.
Absolutely.
We should have that NGF report. I know we all have it in our
I
email.
got you one, and I got,
And
That was a
you can
very
take all this.
expensive,
well worth it, yeah.
detail-oriented report done by basically the go-to golf foundation in the country. I mean, anybody that does anything of significance and they want the best input done, they call in the National Golf Foundation. This isn't some mom and pop operation consultant. These guys are, the best of breed in that industry for doing those reports. And he wrote up a stellar report on our golf course. And it should be shared with the townspeople. The selectmen, everybody should read through that. And, I mean, it really puts a spotlight on the gem that this town possesses. So, I mean,
on page
as
26.
he finished his presentation
Wayne,
to
page
the selectmen and
26.
stated that this next phase is essentially the completion of the project that started in '98. The whole working of over these 20 years was to get to this point to put an actual, facility on the property. It wasn't meant to house a portable trailer for 25 years. I mean, we have done it. It's allowed us to be as successful as we are, but it may be time to move forward with the business model.
So we're not gonna say maybe.
And also, the infrastructure for the sewer septic is built already.
Correct.
It's built for, I guess they go by lockers, according to Kurt. We got 160 lockers, which we're not gonna have that. I mean, it's overbuilt, so there's not a lot of infrastructure costs as far as developing a new septic system. I'm sure there will be costs, but we can plug into what we got. We're not like ripping up the
And
cost.
on this, like, the time to move forward, like, really, what's the other option if they don't move forward? That thing's just gonna fall apart one of these
Yes.
days.
Right.
It's
You
already
are
falling
doing
apart.
something on that property.
You have to do something.
Correct.
Right.
So you gonna,
Again, our job is to try and sell this to the committee and to the
Yeah.
select board. If they don't bite and there's no appetite for this, whether it's the town or the select board, that's on them to figure that out.
Yeah,
We did our
exactly.
job, we did a pretty good job, and I think that's something we have to let them cross that bridge when they get to it.
yeah, and I agree, but I'm just like, for like the people watching at home, like, it's not like we can just like leave it.
There'll be some
You
sort of
know,
expense
there has to be
needed.
something,
Right. And it's still gonna
I can-
cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to put something
to
new
do,
over
to
there.
do anything.
To do
You know,
anything.
like, yeah,
Right.
so.
Right, you got infrastructure, you got
That's-
right,
Yeah.
exactly, so what are you gonna, all right, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Dana sent me some pictures today. I showed this is what a garden variety day is out there when we have people. That's what it looks like. And then I chose not to put any pictures of the clubhouse because I feel like that's putting salt on the wounds for the folks we're talking. Everybody in the room knows why we're here, right? They know that I could go in the back and take photos of the floor, right?
Yeah. You don't wanna do
I think
that.
it's just almost like it's insulting their intelligence by
Yeah.
showing things that it's obvious. That's why we're all put together.
Mhm.
And then we went through some of the iterations, the sketches, and then they started to get a little more technical. Locations of clubhouse, moving moving the car barn for the future of a practice area, moving the clubhouse to where the practice green's located. Started to get a little bit more, as part of the process, moving things around, taking the kitchen and moving it from here to here, moving the pro shop from one side. We went through a bunch of different options with that. And then we started getting into the technical drawings where we actually figured some locations and solidified where we would put things and how many seats and what the decking would look like. And then so we got some renderings of what the design that Kurt and his team came up with of the clubhouse and then the car barn. And then we're gonna talk about the costs and then make a recommendation.
I think the architecture reflects too the farmland or the rural, the barn kind of atmosphere.
And that was feedback we got, right,
That
in the
we
beginning.
would- right.
Somebody said, hey, I'd love to make this look like the farming town that we're in.
Exactly.
And I think we did a pretty good job
And
nailing it.
around 4:30, I sent you I sent everybody, I believe, a pavilion, a shot of a pavilion that really is what's attached to the clubhouse. You know, the pavilion in the picture is open air, of course, there'd be two sides that abut the clubhouse, so you can walk out. But, you know, that could be a slide that, if you think it's worthy of it.
I'll look it up now when we're here.
Well, I sent it email at 4:30 to you.
Look at my
I believe I did.
inbox. I don't have Wi-Fi in here, so I'm not.
Okay.
That was a waste. No
I think
no
I had
AC, no
seven.
Wi-Fi.
You want a hot
All right, so you guys have any other feedback? And from now till we have to do this, I'm willing to accept more feedback to, and as I go through this, I'll send you guys a PDF just to share what we're,
Yeah,
Let's see,
Rich?
Yeah, like that. There it is.
Oh, you got,
yeah. So there's something very similar to the design. It's even 30 feet wide, which is exactly what it is on the plan. So something to that effect. Imagine two sides enclosed or covered in the back, but having dropped down something. I've been to places they have garage doors that go up, or you can go as the vinyl, final roll down, drop down.
you think that's in addition to the decking space and the inside space?
Well, that's the
brown-
That's
he
the
was
brown
just-
structure.
yeah.
The brown structure is going to be an open air pavilion.
Got it.
So
And that's what you're saying that design could go there?
right. So
Got it.
well,
I
to give
understand.
people a visual.
be similar.
Yeah, I
I
got it.
like the concept of that, having it open but accessible to close it as well with more of a solid door feature as opposed to like kind of like what we have now with the drop-down vinyl sides for the
Right.
tent. That looks kind of cheesy. I like a barn door or the garage door concept. And then when in the off-season, if there is an off-season that the town decides to do, you can close it down, lock it
Right,
down,
that's
secure it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a huge feature to have, I think, absolutely.
Because in that plan, you walk out from the dining room, you walk in from you also walk out from the corridor next to the pro shop. So there's two or three. Well, there's more than that, entrances to the to that pavilion area, and that's going to be used more for the 144 people.
Well, you're gonna find people are drawn to the outdoor seating areas.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I mean, as it is now, some guys will sit on the deck,
Yeah.
some guys sit under the tent, and some guys use the patio tables with the umbrellas. So each has kind of like its own vibe, and
Yeah.
people are drawn to their own sections, you know what I mean? So, and I think in the final draft, when he had put the rendering of it located on the putting green, he even put a patio beyond the decking on the outskirts of the facility
Yeah.
that overlooks 18 as well, which was, I
Do
think,
we have that?
a
I
great.
don't know that
I think
one.
it was somewhere in,
Yeah.
it was showing it somewhere in one of your slides. I thought I saw it, but I'm not sure.
Plus also too, remember, we're also open the course at March.
That one right
That
there.
one right there. You
See how he has the patio
Oh,
outside
yeah.
the decking?
Right.
Right.
That, I think, again, the more outdoor space that you can create, so you can put these steel patio tables with the umbrellas on that, you can have them on the deck, and then you still have the barn, the pavilion
Right.
area. So
Yeah.
I just think it's fantastic. That setting is gonna serve it well.
Yeah.
Any other feedback? Any other things we should add?
Should we suggest building in the winter, or is that just a given? That.
I mean,
I think it's gonna be a
you're not gonna
good
finish it in the
Yeah.
winter. It's not gonna be done in 3 or 4 months.
Right.
No, so when I get it,
Well, you also have to break, you probably have to do the foundation like before it starts
Before
freezing
it's-
also.
so this,
Ideal.
we were bouncing around in the
Halfway.
shop, just kind of, shooting it back and forth. And we're saying maybe if and when they decide to do it, you shut down for November. You know what I mean? So you can start in November and do exactly what you're saying. You break ground, you set your foundation, and you move forward from there into the winter. So you get done what you can get done, then you go inside, you finish all the winter stuff, and then when the spring starts, you go back outdoors, clean it up, finish it up. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure the time frames and how this all works out, but
I think what we have to do is rely on GC a little bit
yes.
to determine what is available during certain times of the year.
Right.
And as the project flows, I mean, we pray for a mild winter. A heavy winter could really derail this project
Right.
and push it into the spring. So you kind of plan far and like a conservative approach, and if you get it done early, it's great.
Yeah, but like you said, it's all gonna come down to size of crew, who takes the job
Yeah.
on, you can't.
And
set
weather
the-
conditions.
So,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
in the bidding, can you put like the time frame you want it done by from this time to this time?
I think they tell you what they're capable of, and then you can suggest that your expectations are to not disrupt revenue streams by
Right.
not having play. I think you write that in the contract. Dave and I spoke on the phone a few times in the last couple of weeks about trying to avoid prevailing wage, but maybe that's a possibility, maybe it's a percentage of it, doing something that's prefabricated in a factory. So, but that's outside of our scope at that point, right?
Yeah.
Design, process, and delivering a message to the committees, that's our job. When it comes down to the bidding process, you know, they could lean on any one of us for experience as we go down the road. We don't have to be in a committee. But I think this presentation, this is a brief description of the last 7 months, or however many months,
Yeah,
and we hand it off.
because I was contacted by the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, Dave Wonat, and he brought up the idea of prefab and that, and I can send you the company he sent me. It's in Claremont, New Hampshire, that does, you know, custom work, would go off of a blueprint, that sort of thing. But we don't have a blueprint yet. Maybe they can give us a guesstimate.
Yeah, they, like we talked about.
Right.
When I did the program at my test facility that I manage, you know, we gave them renderings and schematics in 2 dimensions, and they said, yeah, this is a, you know, $4 or $5 million building. Then the pandemic hit and all hell broke loose.
Right.
But yeah, they can give you a really good budgetary numbers. It's what some of these people, that's all they do for a living, is just write out the budgetary numbers, and then it goes out to bid. So that you have to plan your capital budget before it actually goes out to bid. You have to say, this is how much money I have.
Right, okay, yep. Yep.
The question, is there anything outside of the, we'll say, the bid package that we'd like to add back into the project if the financial numbers are right? Because my thought is, if you do it all in one package and say these are add-ons, then they're gonna give you an estimate. If you come back later and say, hey, we'd like to do something else, and they say, well, that's a change order, and that becomes a whole different ballgame of
Yeah,
cost.
I mean, that's fair. I think, again, that's gonna be past what we're supposed to do. Like, I think the phased approach is gonna make this project more palatable. Like, we need a clubhouse. Let's get that. And then let's go ask for the car park, and let's go ask for the practice facility, right? And then paving the parking lot at the end to really button this whole thing up. I mean, I think that's the best way to sell this. 4 million up front, if that's what the number was. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. That seems like a lot for this
For
town.
just the clubhouse, I think.
For everything.
Oh,
That's why I
right.
think we break it down into more
Yeah.
bite-sized,
Yeah, I
something we can,
Dana, how much, we talk about the old clubhouse and on its last legs, we'll call it. How much more life does that have before you have to start to pump some cash into it?
You're there.
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Because
Absolutely.
my thought is someone may say at town meeting, hey, so why can't you just keep using the same loan?
Politically correct way, it could be any day, right? It may last a year, it may last 4 years, or we could walk in tomorrow and a part of the floor could fall through and one of the refrigerators could be in the
I mean,
dirt.
the town could close, the Board of Health could close it.
Right.
I think, again, everybody knows that this thing is
It's gas.
seen its
It's gas
days.
in
Yeah.
the air.
Right, seen its days.
What's the useful life of a double wide trailer from
You know what,
inception?
we've had it 20 years, we've got it 20 years used. Whoever built it did a hell of a job because it lasted beyond its life expectancy.
Yeah, it'll last, from experience, it'll last forever if you keep repairing it.
Well, yeah.
You put a new roof on it, you put the
And, you know,
windows in
and-
it, you put, I mean, they are built with 2x6 exterior walls around here and 2x4 interior walls because we're in that hurricane zone. So,
It is- it's
yeah, at
just-
least they are now, that's what I purchase and, you know, and they do, you know, you just have to keep it like a house. It is basically a house now that they're producing. It's not the old 2x3s and exterior walls and.
But this one isn't
Panel.
on a foundation, right?
Bingo.
No, it's not a foundation and I don't.
So it's
installation
racking
is-
in the
It's
wind.
racked.
is,
I think we
I know
it's time.
Yeah.
It is
If they
time.
say, if the people with the money say no to the clubhouse, then they're gonna have to.
yes.
I think
Yeah.
the golf committee and the selectmen seem to be on board with this to begin with, so I think if you run into any problems, it would be the town
Yeah.
voting it down, that's where it would be the problem. And, you know, I guess put it on the warrant that like, just emphasize that what we have is not sustainable, so something needs to be done either way.
Well, that's kind of, right, I think we're at that point,
If-
right.
That's in the
That's why they-
NGF
we
report
formed
at
all
least 4 times, so.
And the presentation to the town at the town meeting probably has to reflect that
Right.
pretty good. But
Anybody
this
that wants to come
presentation
down and-
Probably doesn't.
I don't
Okay,
really
so
know
visit,
if there
walk
would be a
through.
presentation,
Uh,
they usually just get put on the warrant, right, in writing, and like, I guess if there's any opposition or questions to that, that's when it would come out, but
Well,
other than that, I don't think there needs to be a presentation to the town, right?
yeah, and that's, once again, I agree, that's not our situation.
Yeah,
I mean, we did all this work, we produced this
Yeah.
product, we're putting it forward.
You do.
That's up to the,
yeah.
really, we don't
Pass
have
it
any
along.
purse strings.
Yeah.
You know, you got the golf committee with what they have in reserves, and you got the town and what they're gonna be willing
Right.
to push out there and ask the people for. And it's really not, I shouldn't even
It's not-
say
you
it
shouldn't
that
say
way,
that,
and
yeah.
it's, I shouldn't
This
even
is
say it
done
that
by
way. It's
revenue
not
from the
asking
golf course.
Correct.
Right.
This golf course
Yeah.
will finance itself
by itself.
time and time
Yeah.
again.
And again, that's not part of what we're talking about, that won't be in our spiel to the.
Right.
That's,
Right.
that's not, that's common knowledge.
Correct.
You know,
We're just giving them, our job is to give them a design
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and hand
and
it
a
off.
nice design. I mean, that's a beautiful facility,
yeah.
you know?
Like we said,
I mean,
you build
you-
that, that'll secure your spot in the market for the test of
Yeah.
time as long as we're
We're
alive.
the only driving range around here now. I mean, you got Lazy A, and you got the one in Dartmouth over,
Cash.
yeah,
Whale,
Acushnet.
Whale has a range.
The Whale, okay, the Whale, yeah, it's true.
We have a nice driving range, it's not, you know.
No, but,
It's way
right,
better than,
that's phase 5.
Yeah.
Is is put the facility up, heated stalls and different levels, but, you know.
so if you guys think of anything else that I might have missed, you have basically a copy of this,
I like it. I keep it simple.
Yeah,
send a
it's very gonna
message.
be simple, but it has to be that way. Let me know, you know,
It's good, yeah.
I think that's great.
anything else?
I think it looks very well, works very well. Anybody, comments?
So I guess we would have to decide when we're doing this?
Well,
Because-
right, that's gonna have to be determined, because next Thursday now, we're only gonna have one person. So we're not gonna have a quorum for this,
Do we need to have a quorum to present to the committee?
or can we just hand it off to the golf committee?
Well,
Yeah, I think what he's saying is he could probably do it, if they want to present next week, he could probably do it without us here.
You could probably come in as a guest on our agenda to do the presentation.
Should we authorize?
If you want to do that, you know, like,
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Right, because
But
you're
then-
not gonna make any official votes or any decisions, all that is transpired already.
Any cost? I mean, if you want to cost
that's
Monday.
fine, I just don't know if.
Yeah, we're gonna get costs on Monday.
So why wouldn't you include that in his
Especially if he's
presentation?
saying-
Oh, he is, he's gonna
Yeah.
put it where that slide
He's gonna
is
put
for
the cost
costs.
in, okay.
You're gonna put the costs in,
Is.
the
was
new
it-
ones.
Is it, are the selectmen gonna come to that golf meeting? So like, are you talking about doing a second presentation with the selectmen?
Sydney?
I
Any-
listed it in on their August 26th agenda. So
This is a Tuesday. See, we have to kind of go by their agendas.
Yeah.
You know, that's why next Thursday.
So that would be a
is the
second
golf
time to
committee.
present to the golf committee and then again present it to them, or would the golf committee present it to them?
Yeah, that's to be
It's a good
determined.
question.
You know, these things are
it
to
was
be
kind of
determined.
like, we present to the golf committee,
And the
and
golf
they're gonna
committee takes it
present.
from there.
Yeah, they
So-
can, or Rich can go in and
Yeah.
present it, you know, and I would go to that meeting on the 26th.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
I would
around.
too, you know, I'd be
Right, in
around
case
at
there's
that
any
point.
other questions that come up, and comments, that we can add our, you know, what we did in the process.
So yeah, it's not an official meeting.
When
of
you
yours,
get
but-
that
Oh, yeah,
on
right.
Monday,
Yeah.
you're gonna send us a copy?
Yep,
Okay.
oh, well, it's going to Rich.
Well, I'd like to see the
It's going
copy
to
of the
Rich, 'cause I'm
cost,
gonna be
what they-
gone.
the square footage and.
I told Kurt to send it directly to
I'll
you
share
and
it with all you
Sydney,
guys, obviously.
and, so, if you can push it to those guys, then that'll be good, you know, and if we don't get it Monday, we'll be calling Tuesday, hey.
So
you know.
we do have a golf committee on the 14th, which Rich is gonna do this presentation, I'm assuming.
It's up to the
But if
team.
anybody else was interested in attending, you can go in attendance and just watch. But if you're not on the agenda, you just can't speak at the meeting and make points, right? So if you're interested in viewing what's transpiring of the presentation, if
So unless
if it's
we
not
have a
actually,
meeting
what you
under
missed,
this
though,
facilities
nobody's gonna be
committee, we
here.
can't
No,
talk.
I'm gonna
We're all
be
on
here.
vacation.
So
I'm all on
why
vacation.
why do we even
So
need
Except
Rich
for
I
Rich.
think is the only one maybe, Adam?
Yeah.
No, Adam's not gonna be here
I
next
think
week.
everybody's gone next week
Yeah.
except for.
Jeff's not here,
So-
John's not.
It's
Doug?
basically gonna be a cleaned up version of
Doug?
this presentation, and then, I guess, the way that I understood the process was that this was being handed off to the golf committee to be discussed with the selectmen, if they choose to have Rich come in and do a presentation.
If they want a joint meeting,
They would probably
if they
speak
want
to
a
you
joint
guys.
meeting, they can ask for it.
Right.
You know?
I have a question. Could we have them meet another time where most of
Sure.
us could be there?
Yeah, we could ask for
Like
a
the golf
set.
committee, say, hey, look,
Absolutely.
can you have another meeting right before the 26th? Like between next Thursday and the 26th, so we can have at least some of our team there to support this.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
I
would
mean,
believe that would be an option.
For who? For the golf?
For you guys and the golf committee to assemble together, to collaborate, if there are any questions that need to be fielded by your committee to them to be clarified,
I
or
think
any
that would be the best
questions.
approach.
So do the presentation on the 14th.
Yes.
If it goes so smoothly and we don't need a meeting, so be it, but if we need a second meeting before the selectmen.
I was thinking not doing it next
Oh, okay.
Thursday.
Just doing a different thing when we're all
I
here.
was thinking, asking the golf committee to have an additional meeting.
Yeah.
Do they have some, do they have? to
Could they
keep
do it on the
dates?
26th?
Beats me.
Then the select board?
I think we need to meet with the golf committee before the 26th.
Yeah.
I don't want to have any surprises with the select board. I think having a meeting with that committee, the golf management committee, might make this even more robust. They might have ideas to put into this presentation, and then we can polish it up for the select board.
Well, then when would we think of having a meeting with them?
Well, we have the week after next. You guys, most of you are around, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Next week, nobody's here.
So like
That's the
the,
week of the
like
26th.
the 19th?
No, it's the
It'd
21st.
be like the 18th to the 22nd.
That's what I was thinking.
That would work.
Yeah, you guys can, I'm out of the,
You're gone for a couple weeks,
I'm
right?
going till the 25th
I'm here that
of
way.
August.
So,
I'll text Dave and see if he's available anytime between the 18th and the 22nd. Reach out to the golf committee and see if they want to do another meeting after the 14th for anybody that's available to sit in that.
I think that having more support from you guys is probably,
And it would
The
be
best.
good to see what they come back with numbers, just because the square footage price they were using and. It
Absolutely.
would be. I used the one from the National Golf Foundation right in the beginning. I used $6.
That's a couple years
Most of
old,
the
though,
day.
so
Yeah,
who
they
knows?
weren't using that.
Those
I'd like to
right.
see what they are you gonna use.
Right.
They're using less than that.
Right. Okay.
Well, I think
I did some
that,
numbers and I did it based on what the National Golf Committee was, almost $6, I think, right?
I
Yeah.
think his
Yeah.
first
Square foot.
estimate was based off
Right.
of a bigger square footage than we have it now.
Yes,
too.
right.
Right. Right, it did start out at like 4,700 square feet.
I'm gonna put all that in there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then I'll polish this up. I might even copy that, make a slide out
You
of
take
that.
all, oh yeah,
I think I have that in my email. I think I have
Yeah.
that report. If not, I'll get it.
Okay.
Yes, I'll get it from him. And I'll steal that slide and put it in there like, NGF did the study and this is what they came up with. I think there's 11 million is one of the options. on there.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
So I think the big picture is, we're gonna find out if the golf committee can meet with us after next week, to have some more of a quorum with our team. And then we'll decide whether or not there needs to be another presentation with the select board from us or from the golf committee. Is that fair?
I think that's very good.
And everybody will get emails along the way to make sure that we're keeping everybody in the loop.
Yep,
Good?
good. Good. All right, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good.